Hello friends, today we have a review of the Qingping Air Monitor 2. This is a desktop air quality monitor for a smart home with a screen, Wi-Fi, and quite a wide set of indicators. The device I have is in the black version, and in this video we will take a detailed look at what it can do, how it is configured, and what it can provide in a real smart home, not just as a nice screen with numbers. For me, this topic is not new, because I already showed the first version of the Qingping Air Monitor several years ago, and it is interesting to see what has changed in the second generation. If in the first version there were CO2, temperature, humidity, PM2.5, and eTVOC, then here PM10 and noise level have been added. A replaceable PM sensor has appeared, a large 4-inch touchscreen with a resolution of 720 by 720, and, which is also important, support not only for 2.4 GHz, but also 5 GHz Wi-Fi. During the video, we will go through the package contents and main parameters, install the PM sensor, connect the device to the network, quickly go through the menu, then add it to Mi Home, look at its capabilities there. After that, connect it to Home Assistant via Xiaomi Miot, and at the end assemble a simple package of notifications about poor air quality. More details on everything. And for now, by tradition, I ask you to like this video so that more people interested in the smart home topic can find it, and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so before. Device type: desktop air quality monitor. Manufacturer: Qingping. Model: CGS2. Measured parameters: temperature, humidity, CO2, PM2.5, PM10, calculated indicator of volatile organic compounds, VOC, noise level. Ecosystems: Qingping Plus and Mi Home. Interface: Wi-Fi, 2.4 and 5 GHz. Screen: 4 inches, resolution, 720 by 720, touchscreen. Power: USB-C, 5V1A. Battery: 1,800 mAh. It is important to understand that the battery is intended not for continuous use, but as a backup power source so that the CO2 sensor does not reset. Color: white and black. I have the black version. Size: 74 by 85 by 104 millimeters. Weight: 250 grams. The monitor is supplied in a white cardboard box with a minimalist design. On the front side, the device screen with measured parameters is schematically shown, and its name is also indicated. On the back side of the box, the main information about the device is already provided. The parameters we have already discussed and the package contents. There is also a sticker indicating the color, and in my case, it is the black version. Inside, everything is arranged quite neatly and tightly. On top lies the manual, and the monitor itself and accessories are arranged in sections, so during transportation nothing dangles or gets damaged. The box is made of fairly thick and durable cardboard. After unpacking, we see the monitor itself, the manual, and a separate small box. From the inscription on it, it is already clear that inside there are the PM sensor, the back cover, and the power cable. Now we will check everything. And here are the contents of this small box: a replaceable PM sensor, a back cover, and a USB-C cable. And here, by the way, is one of the important differences from the first version. There, the PM sensor over time for some users began to buzz, and it could not be replaced in a standard way, and to avoid disassembling the device, it was usually simply disabled. Here this point was clearly taken into account, and the sensor was immediately made removable and replaceable. This is what the PM sensor itself looks like separately. It is made in the form of a small replaceable module with a contact group on the side. That is, the idea here is precisely that it is a consumable and serviceable element, and not a part of the device that cannot be reached without disassembly. In the manual, the process is shown literally in a few steps. First, insert the PM sensor into the compartment at the back, then close the cover, and after that the device can already be turned on. At the back of the monitor, there is a compartment for installing the sensor. It is located above the USB-C connector, and on the right inside a blue latch is visible, which holds the module in place after installation. The sensor itself is inserted into this compartment until it stops, along the guides. There is nothing complicated here. The main thing is to install it with the correct side and carefully slide it in until it locks. After installation, it remains to close the compartment with the back cover. It simultaneously completes the appearance of the device and forms proper air intake through the rear part of the case, and immediately connect power via USB-C. As I said earlier, for continuous operation, this monitor is better to use from external power, and the built-in battery here is rather a backup. After the first power on the device, you can immediately choose the interface language. Simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, English, and Russian are available. The next step is connecting to Wi-Fi. The monitor scans available networks, and it sees both 2.4 and 5 GHz, after which it remains to select the required access point and enter the password directly from the on-screen keyboard. After connecting, we immediately get to the main screen. Here, on one page, all key indicators are displayed: CO2, noise level, humidity, temperature, PM2.5, PM10, and eTVOC. Moreover, this is done quite clearly, with large numbers and color indication, so the overall air condition can be assessed literally at a glance. In terms of the interface, everything is done quite conveniently. The screen is good, the touch is responsive, switching between pages works smoothly, without unnecessary delays. On the main screen, you can change the priority of indicators by tapping. The parameter that is needed at the moment moves to the top and is displayed larger. This is a small thing, but in practice it is convenient, because you can quickly bring, for example, CO2 or PM2.5 to the first place. And in general, the device is not perceived as a sensor that must immediately be dragged into a smart home. It can work independently. All main data is visible directly on the screen. Basic settings are available locally, so even without applications and integrations, it is already a fully functional desktop air quality monitor. In the menu, all the main device settings are collected. Here there are Wi-Fi parameters, connection to the native Qingping application, firmware update, and so on. This is what I meant when I said that even without an application, everything essential can be configured directly on the monitor itself. For example, local notifications for exceeding specified values. You can add a condition and choose which of the 7 parameters to monitor, including noise. After selecting a parameter, the condition logic is set, greater or less than the specified value, and the threshold itself is entered manually. An on-screen keyboard is used for this. Everything is convenient and intuitive. There is a separate item for automatic shutdown of the PM sensor. When activated, a menu opens for selecting the time from which and until what hour it will be turned off. There is also a useful CO2 calibration section. Both automatic and manual are available. Automatic is enabled by default. Time and location are also configured separately. 24-hour format, automatic time setting, time zone, and location. There is also a choice of standard for evaluating readings: Chinese, American, or European. This affects not the measurements themselves, but the thresholds by which the device evaluates air condition and shows color indication. If you look externally and in terms of general operating logic, the devices are very similar. The form factor has remained recognizable. It is the same desktop monitor with a tilted screen, and in both versions on the main page the same convenient carousel of indicators works. You can select any parameter, and it will be displayed at the top in enlarged form. At the same time, on the old version you can immediately notice that my PM sensor is disabled. After several years of use, it started to hum, and this is precisely one of the practical problems of the first generation. In the second version, the overall approach has been preserved, but the device itself has become larger, the screen is noticeably bigger, the interface looks more modern, and more data fits on one page. That is, this is not some completely different model, but a logical development of the first version with the preservation of successful ideas and correction of some old weak points. I do not use the native Qingping application, because for my tasks Xiaomi Home is quite sufficient. The old name is Mi Home, which I already have installed. In addition, it is needed for integrating the device into Home Assistant. To connect, on the monitor you need to go to the automation menu. The very first item in it is Mi Home, as the main, although not native, smart home control system. Go here. After that, the device shows a short instruction. Open Mi Home on the smartphone, add a new device, and find Qingping Air Monitor 2. After that, you need to proceed to the final step, at which the monitor displays a QR code that needs to be scanned via Mi Home. It is valid for 5 minutes. And we move to the application. Now we go directly to Xiaomi Home. I have the mainland China region set, in which most ecosystem devices purchased on Aliexpress work. According to the instructions, I go to the manual device edition menu and search by brand name. Next, Xiaomi Home asks to put the device into connection mode. In our case, this has already been done from the monitor screen, so it remains only to confirm and proceed to scanning the QR code. We scan the code that was displayed on the monitor screen, and literally within a few seconds the device is successfully added to Mi Home. After connecting, you can set the device name and location. Now its tile appears on the main screen of Xiaomi Home. On the main screen of the plugin, all the main readings are immediately displayed. PM2.5, noise, PM10, CO2, VOC, temperature, and humidity. Below there are recommendations for actions depending on the current air condition. Even lower, you can view the history for each parameter. Graphs for the last 24 hours and 30 days are available, so you can quickly assess not only the current air condition but also the overall dynamics. In the plugin settings, everything is quite familiar. Here there is device information, the PM sensor serial number, name, room placement, access to automations, product information, and firmware updates. Just like from the screen, in Xiaomi Home, you can also configure alarms. Time is added with repeat selection. You can enable or disable snooze, and also choose the alarm melody. And of course, the device can be used in Xiaomi Home automations. Data from it can be used as triggers and conditions for automations. No actions are for it. All measured parameters are available, both for exceeding and dropping below thresholds. That is, in automations you can use PM2.5, PM10, CO2, VOC, temperature, humidity, and noise level, setting specific trigger values for them. This is how the monitor already stands in my real usage. The place is quite typical, on the windowsill next to equipment, where you can constantly see the screen and at the same time monitor the air condition in the room. Due to the form factor and screen tilt, it is easy to read even if it just stands on the side of a table or near a window. There are separate settings for the screen here. You can enable or disable auto brightness, manually adjust the backlight level, set a screensaver, and the display auto off time. Auto brightness works correctly. It adjusts to lighting normally. Among the screensaver options, clocks are available, including with additional readings. By default, this is enabled, but I disabled it so that the main air parameters are always visible. And once again about CO2 calibration. Out of the box, my sensor slightly overestimated the readings and almost did not drop below about 500 ppm. Therefore, I placed the monitor near an open window and after that started manual calibration. The manual explicitly states that at this moment the device should be kept near an open window or outdoors and not breathe in its direction. The procedure takes about 5 minutes, and after that the readings return to normal. For integration into Home Assistant, I use Xiaomi Miot. Through it, I already have several devices connected, including the first version of this monitor. Everything works stably. This option suits me completely. Since I am creating a separate block for the second version, here I just click Add a new entry. Next, I enter my Mi account parameters, select the mainland China server, and leave the connection mode on automatic detection. After that, the integration retrieves the list of devices from the account, and you can proceed to selecting what needs to be added. At the next step, I choose the option to add only selected devices so that not everything in the account gets into the system. And in the list I specify Qingping Air Monitor 2. After that, the monitor appears in Home Assistant with a set of entities for all indicators: temperature, humidity, CO2, VOC, PM2.5, PM10, noise, as well as service entities such as charge level and status. The latter, by the way, showed the status as unknown, so I disabled it. In the interface, I displayed them as a separate block, like this. Here, above, highlighted with a rectangle, there is also an air quality sensor that I assembled manually. A bit later, I will show how and why. Here are typical graphs over a day together. The picture is very clear. From the top graph, you can see how CO2 increases in a closed room and drops quite sharply during ventilation. For PM2.5 and PM10 at the same time, the opposite pattern is clearly visible. During ventilation, when CO2 quickly decreases, dust indicators, on the contrary, increase. Along with the inflow of fresh air from outside, fine particulate matter also enters the room. After closing the window, the values gradually return to normal levels. From VOC, it is also visible that the sensor responds to environmental changes, and the graph behaves quite logically without any strange spikes. In general, from the history, it is clearly seen that the monitor correctly reflects real household scenarios, a closed room, ventilation, and changes in air quality throughout the day. And this is a small package that I created for notifications about the need for ventilation in text form. As usual, you will be able to find it via the link in the description. Here I track only the CO2 parameter, but by analogy you can use any other parameter. First, according to my package design format, which I recently standardized and updated, there is a customization block where user-defined names for objects are specified. This does not directly affect the logic. Next comes the recorder block. In my case, only those entities that are explicitly specified are written to the database. In this case, these are all 7 readings sent by the sensor and the virtual carbon dioxide sensor in this room. Its code is highlighted a bit below and is identical to the value of the hardware sensor. The point is not to lose history in case of physical replacement of the air monitor. Then you simply change the name of the physical sensor in the template, and the history continues further without interruptions. Another template is already a binary sensor, which will be active when a number of conditions are met. The carbon dioxide value is above 1500, and here a virtual sensor is used instead of a physical one. The notification sensor is active. It is global for my entire system, works from 9 in the morning to 10 in the evening, and the ventilation sensor is not active, which, in turn, is linked to window and balcony door opening sensors. And this is automation. As a trigger, a time interval is used here. It triggers every 30 minutes. There are 2 conditions here. One of them is a control mode switch. This is my specific setup, needed for a system with several servers, and is not directly related to this logic. The main condition is the bad air sensor. If decoded, the CO2 value is above 1500, the window and balcony door are closed. The time is between 9 in the morning and 10 in the evening. In this case, a notification is sent to the corresponding Telegram channel that it would be a good idea to ventilate. If nothing is done, a new notification will come in half an hour, and so on. This works better than a one-time trigger based, for example, on the state of the bad air sensor. Qingping Air Monitor 2 left a good impression on me. Convenient, and for me, considering many years of using the first version, already a familiar desktop air quality monitor. It can work both as a standalone device and as part of a smart home system. It has a good display, an intuitive interface, support for Xiaomi Home, and integrates into Home Assistant via Xiaomi Miot. The manufacturer took into account the problem of the first version. The PM sensor here is made removable. A good set of indicators. There are CO2, PM2.5, PM10, humidity, temperature, volatile organic compounds, and noise. By the way, this is the first, and so far the only, my sensor that can measure noise. It is convenient that all this is visible on the screen. Among the disadvantages, only a rather high price can be noted, but for such a device this is quite understandable. That is all. I hope this video was useful and interesting for you. I will be waiting for your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. If you liked the video, like it and subscribe to my channel so as not to miss new reviews and tutorials. In the description under the video you will find all the necessary links to the device itself and the replacement sensor, the shown package, as well as my Telegram channels and social networks, a group for communication on smart home topics. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Peace to everyone.